Let's read the first question, buddy.
A bus travels at a constant speed. It stops for a short time and then travels at a higher constant speed. Using the axes in figure 1.1, draw a distance time graph for this bus journey.
Now, for this bus journey. So, पहले इसने क्या बोला? Bus travels at a constant speed.
Constant speed.
Stops for a short distance and then travels at a higher constant speed. तो क्या करूँ मैं? How do I draw this?
So first we draw a straight line to show the constant speed.
Okay. It's a distance time graph, तो straight line ऐसा चला गया. This is a constant speed. Yeah. Then
we'll keep like a horizontal line to show here that the bus is at rest, like it's stopping for a short time.
Perfect. So next would be this point, right?
Yeah.
For a short time, so let's keep a
short time.
Yeah.
And then after that, it's traveling at a higher constant speed. So this will again be a straight line, but the gradient should be a little steeper compared to what was like the first line.
Absolutely. So can I do it like this? Does it look like a graph now? All right, perfect. Very good. Next.
Elevator starts from rest at a ground floor of a building. Figure 1.2 is the speed time graph for the motion of the lift to the top floor of the building. Okay. So the speed is increasing in the first part of the graph.
Right.
So you can say that it's accelerating.
Okay. So, okay, one second. The question says use the graph to determine the distance from the ground floor to the top floor of the building. Ground floor to the top floor. Okay. Rest at ground, which means starts from rest. यानी कि यहाँ से start होगा. Starting point भी ये और 0 से start करा तो starts from rest, right?
Yeah.
And at this point, it is at the ground floor. तो यहाँ पर हो गया हमारा. This point is the ground floor. After that, then it goes to speed time of motion to the top floor of the building. Top floor पे चले गए. हमको निकालना है distance. ठीक है. चलो अभी बताओ कैसे distance. It's a important point to notice. What type of graph?
It's a speed time graph. Yeah.
Speed time graph. Speed time graph में another question. If it's a, I will write it as a VT graph. VT means velocity time graph or speed time. Okay. So इसमें हमारा it's a velocity time graph or speed time graph. इसमें हमेशा gradient क्या होता है?
So the gradient in a velocity time graph, I think acceleration
is always acceleration. और इसमें हम distance कैसे निकालते हैं? If I want to find out distance or
I remember that. I think it's distance under the graph, like the area under the graph. Sorry, area under the graph. So using the kind of scales of the axis, you can work out the area of the figure shown there. So right now it's
area of the shape.
The trapezium.
अब इसमें हमसे कहाँ से कहाँ तक ऊंचा है? It's asking us from where to where?
From the ground floor to the top floor.
The top floor. ठीक है?
From the 0 second mark to the 25 second mark.
तो अब हमको इस पूरे एरिया का everything under this, right? I have to find out everything under this.
Yeah.
All of this. All of this. What shape?
It's a trapeze.
It's a trapezium. Chalo, find the area. Trapezium ka, do you remember the area?
Yeah, so the formula is half in brackets a plus b at. So a plus b are like the sides that are parallel to each other, so and the height is the height.
B and ये हो गया इनके बीच का distance, right?
Height, yeah.
ये बताओ मुझे क्या है? How much is A?
A is coming from.
Do you want to look at your own screen also? You can.
Yes, I'll just do that. So this point is somewhere in between here. So I think this is 7.5 and it's going till 20.
Just have a look. 7.5. This is 7.5. Okay. And the other point is Sargun, hi.
Hi, miss. Actually, I messaged you also. My Wi-Fi was down. I was trying to join.
Okay. Sargun, I'm just sending a link. Please open this quickly. We are doing a worksheet. इस worksheet के we have come to the second question. And इस link को save कर लेना because I'm going to give homework from this also. ठीक है? This is the one which we are doing right now. Open this worksheet. We are on the second question. Come to the second question. Tell me once you open it, huh? Yeah, Gauri, what is the second point, beta?
The second point is on 20, so 20 minus 7.5.
Okay, so
12.5.
A would be 20 minus 7.5, right?
Right.
और B क्या होगा? ये B यहाँ से यहाँ तक पूरा है, right? B is the whole
B is the entire thing, so 25.
Whole thing is B, right? So that whole thing is how much? 25 minus 0, है ना?
Right.
That is 25 minus 0. So, and how much is H? H भी कर लेते हैं साथ साथ ही. H is coming out to be.
H, I'll check on my own screen.
You look at your own screen.
Yes, miss. I opened it.
Opened it. Second question पे आ जाओ बेटा.
Yes, miss.
I think 3.3.
3. अच्छा, this is 3.1. यहाँ पे scale है 3.1. Perfect. 3.3. All right. So, Sargun, did you read the second question?
Yeah.
Same question which we are on. Second question as in first question B part.
Oh.
First question
Okay.
B part.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay. So we are solving this first question B part, which says you have to find the distance of this distance covered when the person is going from the ground floor to the top floor, and top floor is here.
Yeah.
Ground floor, it's given, it's from rest at ground floor of the building to the top floor. तो यहाँ से यहाँ तक जा रहे हैं, हमको distance निकालना है, and for a velocity time graph, the distance is always the area under the shape. So what shape do we see here? Area which is coming in that shape. So I see it's a trapezium. So area of trapezium is what you need to find out. So area of trapezium का formula क्या होता है? Half A plus B into H. So we figured out how much is A. It is 20 minus 7.5. Gauri, कितना हुआ था 20 minus 7.5?
12.5.
It is 12.5. And then B was 25 only, right? So we'll write 12.5 minus plus 25, and height is how much? 3.3. अब मुझे जरा कैलकुलेट करके फाइनल एरिया बता देना कितना आ रहा है. Okay.
$61.875. I'll just recheck it once.
61.875, and into, because we are always answering into significant figures, right? So what
Right.
This one
62.
This will become 62. Now one common mistake. Sargun, आपको इतना समझ में आया कि हमने it's a velocity time graph. Velocity time graph में जब भी हमको distance या displacement calculate करना है, हम उस shape का area निकालेंगे. Now the shape is trapezium, so we applied the formula for trapezium. Now one common mistake, बच्चे आंसर करेंगे area देखते ही मीटर स्क्वायर.
Oh no.
So what is the right answer here?
Meters.
निकाल रहे हैं हम area की help से. What are we finding out? We are finding
distance. Out distance.
Right? The unit has to be meter. वो भी आपको क्रॉस चेक करना होगा कि यहाँ पर किलोमीटर्स तो नहीं दिया हुआ स्पीड का यूनिट. If this will be kilometers per hour और यहाँ पर hour होगा, तो your answer will be kilometers. But in our case, it is meters per second and यहाँ पर second है. So the answer will be in meters. Is that clear? Do not make this mistake. ये बहुत common mistake है, बहुत बच्चे करते हैं. ठीक है? So what should I write my final answer as? In two significant figures, the answer is 62 meters to SF. That's how you will write your answer. Okay? Then we move to the next question. Okay. Sargun, read the question.
Figure 1.1 shows the speed time graph for a car traveling along a straight road. The graph shows how the speed of the car changes as the car passes through a small town.
Okay, then you can see the graph, right? आप अपने screen पे भी open कर लेना by chance if you want to expand and see it. What does it say again? Calculate the
distance between the start of the town and the end of the town.
Start of the town and the end of the town. ठीक है? Start. कहाँ पर है start of the town? What point is the start of the town, Sargun?
Point B.
And where is it leaving the town?
At point C.
Point B and point C. अब उधर से हमें क्या निकालना है? Calculate the distance between the start of the town and the
end of the town.
End of the town. अब ये तो क्या पूछ लिया उसने हमसे?
So we need to find the distance, but only from the start of the town to the end of the town, not for the entire thing.
Right, not the entire thing. तो अब क्या करें इसमें? Speed, सोच के बताओ मुझे. Think about it. If I try to figure out the area of this area, this portion, यहाँ से लेकर के till here, because that's where it is exiting, right? यहाँ से लेके यहाँ तक का area निकालो तो मैं. Are you getting it? Why am I doing it? Right? Because I need to figure out from this time to this time, right? तो उस टाइम से उस टाइम तक का एरिया कितना आना चाहिए is what I have to find out. ठीक है? Did you understand this point? जहां से जहां तक का एरिया. So कुछ, I'm just giving you a hint. This is also not the final thing. Think about it more. Corey, what comes to your mind?
It's maintaining a constant speed throughout the time it's traveling through the town.
Okay, perfect. That's a good point. Maintaining a perfect same speed. All right. That's a good point. और सोचो, सही direction में सोच रहे हो? What speed is that? What speed is that?
Yeah, I'll just check.
सरगुन, आप देख पा रहे हो कौन सी स्पीड है वो?
It's 13.
It is 13. Very good. So that speed is 13. How did we check? Because ये B पे भी उतना ही है और C पे भी उतना ही है. Okay.
Miss, I got disconnected. Could you just repeat what you said?
So I'm saying, as Gauri said, B और C पे आप देखो तो speed same है, which is this much, this speed, right? बस क्या change हो रहा है? What is changing?
The time.
The time. So अगर मैं इस पार्ट का एरिया निकालूं तो क्या मेरा आंसर निकलेगा? Can we check and give an answer? I will check this point.
But
exactly.
I think there could also be another way to do it.
What
right?
is it?
Since we have the speed which is constant, And we can easily find out the time if we
Right.
just multiply the speed and the time, we can get the distance.
And if I find the area, Gauri, so if I find the area, then what area am I finding out? This area?
Oh, it's essentially actually the same thing. The
It's
speed is
essentially
like this side and the time is like this side.
right?
So,
Which is, so the speed is 13 meters per second, which is your length, which is 13. And what's the breadth is the area, is the breadth, I mean this part, right?
yeah, that's the time.
That's your time. तो अगर हम इन दोनों को multiply करें, either I use my formula or I use this, I'll still get the same answer because my length of the rectangle, just that its figure थोड़ा ऐसा बना दिया जैसे हमें लग रहा है कि ये पता नहीं क्या पूछ रहा है हमसे. But this is your length, which is 13, and breadth is how much? ये figure out करो यहाँ से, जो कि ये यहाँ इस point से इस point तक.
I think I'd figure out the points. It was 18 and 42.
It's 18 and 42. So 18 यहाँ पर हुआ और 42 यहाँ हुआ, तो difference कितना हुआ? 42 minus 18.
Right.
Which is how much?
24.
24. So this is equal to 24. तो अब मेरे पास I will still go by the concept of graph because क्या होता है हम confuse होने लगते हैं कि area का formula लगाऊं या speed distance का फॉर्म, फिर speed into time लगाओ. So I'll still use the concept. एरिया निकालना है हमको क्योंकि डिस्टेंस फाइंड आउट करना है. तो यहाँ पर ये शेप क्या बन रहा है गौरी एंड सरगुन?
Rectangle.
It's a rectangle. So area of rectangle,
Length into breadth.
which is length into breadth. We figured out the length is 13 and the breadth is 24. Can you give me the final answer?
312.
312.
Yes.
Okay. If I want the answer in three significant figures, then it will be how much?
310.
Two significant figures would be 310. 3, 1, 0 कर देंगे क्योंकि जब भी हम 2SF में कन्वर्ट करते हैं तो राउंडिंग ऑफ करना पड़ता है. 0 will not be counted because 0 is a this 0 is a trailing 0. So अगर 0 हम तभी काउंट करते हैं अगर वो कैप्टिव 0 होता है. कैप्टिव 0 मतलब दो चीजों के बीच में आ रहा है. फॉर एग्जाम्पल 303, then you will count this 0. But if it is 030 or it is 003 or it is 300, you don't count these zeros.
You don't count the 0 as a significant.
Only count captive zeros. Captive आप समझ गए? Captive मतलब जब बीच में आता है. So now because I rounded it off to 310, I will not count the zero, so I get two significant figures. ठीक है? So the answer is two significant में तो 310 आ गया. अगर the question says आपको अलग से बोल रहा है कि आपको exact answer देना है, then you will answer in 312. Otherwise you will answer as 310. Unit बता दो मुझे क्या होगा?
So this was meters per second, right? I'll just check it.
This is meters per second और नीचे seconds था, right? तो क्या आंसर होना चाहिए?
Meters.
Meters. So if I answer meter square गलत हो जाएगा? Area देख कर
Yes.
meter common mistake. We will not do that mistake. Okay. So my final answer is calculate the distance is 310 meters to SF. ठीक है? Calculate the acceleration of the car between C and D. C and D. Acceleration निकालने के लिए in a velocity time graph क्या निकालना होता है?
Gradient.
I need to find out the gradient. तो C और D के बीच में पूछा गया. Where is C? This is C.
Right.
And this is D. इनके बीच का मुझे gradient निकालना है, right? So
Right.
I have to find the gradient of which line? I have to find the gradient of this line.
Yeah.
Just by looking at it, can you tell me, is the gradient going to be positive or negative?
Positive.
It will be positive. इस साइड का gradient बता सकते हैं मुझे कोई? A और B. A B का gradient क्या होगा?
Negative.
Negative
Yeah.
होगा. क्यों होगा? क्यों होगा? Because वो its
Speed is decreasing. It's decelerating.
decreasing, so the gradient will be negative. In C to D, the gradient is going to be positive. तो बस just for my knowledge, ताकि मेरा आंसर लास्ट में सही आना चाहिए, उसके लिए I will just keep that in mind कि ये positive gradient है, right? So acceleration. So it's an अच्छा ये हमें पता है कि अगर पॉजिटिव ग्रेडियंट होता है, so then it is an acceleration always.
Right.
और अगर नेगेटिव ग्रेडियंट होता है, then do we know that it is it is called as negative acceleration, or I have other names also. Either I call it as negative acceleration, or it is called as deceleration, or it is called as retardation. Are you getting it? Right?
Yeah.
Now, one very important note. Please note it down. Very important. A common mistake again. जब हम ये लिखते हैं. A is a symbol of acceleration. Okay. Suppose A आया -2. Okay. So what do I say? The acceleration is -2. That's my answer, right? पहले एक बार समझ लेना, फिर लिखना. हाँ. I mean, acceleration is -2. Acceleration is -2, right? -2.
Right.
meters per second square लिख लेते हैं unit. ठीक है. लेकिन if the examiner asks you what is the deceleration, if you write the answer as -2, the examiner will give you wrong.
Right.
Right? Why
Right.
is it going to be wrong?
Because
Why is it
acceleration and deceleration are exact opposites.
exact
If
opposite? So
there
if
is
the-
like a negative deceleration, it means it's a
that means it's
positive
acceleration बढ़ रहा है, right? So do not make that common mistake again. So you will always write deceleration is always 2 meters per second square. Deceleration मतलब ही हुआ कि वो कम हो रहा है. So माइनस साइन लगाने की जरूरत नहीं है. ठीक है. अब इसने बोला रिटार्डेशन बताओ कितना है.
2 meters per second.
That's also 2 meters per second square.
Oh, right. Same thing.
Okay. So whether I use the word deceleration or retardation, do not show the minus sign. But if it says, अगर आपने देख लिया कि नेगेटिव ग्रेडियंट है, डिसेलरेट हो रहा है, माइनस में आंसर आ रहा है, सिर्फ एक्सेलरेशन बताते हुए माइनस साइन लगाना है, डिसेलरेशन एंड रिटार्डेशन बोलते हुए माइनस साइन नहीं लगाना है. Note this point. It's a very, very, very important point. क्योंकि ये हमारे फाइनल आंसर्स को करने में ये मिस्टेक में काउंट आ जाता है. फाइनल आंसर में गड़बड़ हो जाती है. क्लियर?
Yeah, okay.
चलो अभी आते हैं वापस क्वेश्चन पे. कैलकुलेट द एक्सेलरेशन ऑफ द कार बिटवीन C एंड D. तो C एंड D के बीच में एक्सेलरेशन निकालना है. हमको पता है ये पॉजिटिव. अब निकाल के बताओ मुझे ग्रेडियंट निकालना है. ग्रेडियंट का फॉर्मूला क्या होता है?
Y2 minus Y1 upon X2 minus X1.
So gradient I will write down. Gradient is change in y upon change in x, which is y2 minus y1 upon x2 minus x1. अब हम अपना y2 और y1 मार्क कर लेते हैं यहाँ पे. We will mark it on the this.
Right.
Can I call this as x1 by 1? And this point D point के जो coordinates होंगे उसको हम x2 y2 बोल देते हैं. We will figure out what is x1 from here and y1 जो हमने already किया था क्वेश्चन करने के लिए. तो it is 42, 13. 42, 13, Sargun? Yes?
Yeah.
Okay, Sargun, can you tell me what is the x2, y2 coordinate? Look at your own now. गौरी आप भी देखो, but Sargun को आंसर करेगी इसका भी.
Yeah. So it's 54 and 32.
It is. So which one? X2 is 32 or 54?
32.
x2 is 32 and y2 is
No. Sorry. X2 is 54 and Y2 is 32.
x2 is okay.
I'm getting y2 as 31.
31 आ रहा है.
Yeah, it is 31. Sorry.
31 है. y2 is 31. You're right. Okay. So and y2 x2 कितना आ रहा है गौरी आपका?
Same as that. 50.
54, comma 31. We have everything. Can we calculate now?
Yeah.
So this will be y2 is 31 minus y1, which is 13 upon x2 54 minus 42. Answer दे दो. 31 minus 13.
1.5.
Final answer?
Yeah, final answer. I just put it directly.
1.5. Unit क्या लिखूं?
So this was acceleration and this is meters per second and seconds. So meters per second square.
Second square. Perfect. Okay. State, Sargun, you got the answer?
Yeah.
Now it says, state how the graph shows that the deceleration of the car has the same numerical value as the acceleration. How do we see that? जितना deceleration है, उतना ही acceleration है. How do we know? Both of you will answer this. Whatever comes to your mind. Gauri, कैसे answer करोगे इसको? How do I know?
So both are equally steep. They're just going in different directions.
Both are equally steep, just going in different directions. Sargun, what is your answer?
That's the same. They're both equally steep.
Equally steep. So how do I put it more technically? The
The
gradient.
gradient is
Same gradient. Same gradient, just the direction is different.
Direction.
Same gradient, just the direction is opposite. Hence the negative sign. Okay? Clear? Same gradient बोला तो भी आंसर सही रहेगा. Same slope बोला तो भी आंसर same. You can use either words. Clear? Now we are on the third question. Gauri, read it.
Because 1.1 and 1.2 show speed time graphs for two objects, each moving in a straight line.
Each moving in a straight line. All right.
Okay.
So
figure 1.1 is showing a straight line, while figure 1.2 is showing a curving
curved line. Okay. So we know that whenever we have a straight line, what kind of motion is it?
In this case, it's a speed time, so it's accelerating at a constant rate.
So first thing, whenever it is straight line and it's a curved line or it's curved. So for this, you will always use the keyword uniform. And for this, you will always use the keyword non-uniform.
Yeah.
पहले तो आपने जैसे ही लाइन देखा आपने कौन सा वर्ड यूज किया यूनिफॉर्म और जैसे कर्व देखा आपने कौन सा वर्ड यूज कर लिया अपने आंसर के लिए मैं आई एम टेलिंग यू व्हाट यू नीड टू आंसर सो दैट यू गेट ओके स्ट्रेट लाइन देखा तो यू विल राइट द वर्ड यूनिफॉर्म कर्व देखा तो यू विल राइट द वर्ड नॉन यूनिफॉर्म बट क्या यूनिफॉर्म क्या उसके लिए नाउ यू चेक व्हाट काइंड ऑफ ग्राफ इट इज if it is a speed time graph then you will write uniform acceleration because जो gradient होता है वो acceleration दिखाता है आपको, right? और यहाँ पर क्या लिखोगे, नॉन यूनिफॉर्म एक्सेलरेशन, क्योंकि यहाँ पर भी ये स्पीड टाइम ग्राफ है, तो जो ग्रेडियंट होगा आगे आप वो लिख दोगे, ठीक है। सो डिस्क्राइब द फर्स्ट वन, इट इज अ यूनिफॉर्म एक्सेलरेशन, और सेकेंड वाले के लिए क्या लिखेंगे आप,
नॉन यूनिफॉर्म एक्सेलरेशन।
यूनिफॉर्म एक्सेलरेशन। फ्री के मार्क्स मिलेंगे 3 मार्क्स, ओके। जस्ट लुकिंग एट द ग्राफ यू हैव टू आंसर दिस, ओके ओके। समझ में आया सरगुन?
Yes.
राइट। अच्छा, यही क्वेश्चन को अगर मैंने स्पीड टाइम की जगह डिस्टेंस टाइम कर दिया होता तो क्या होता?
यूनिफॉर्म स्पीड एंड नॉन यूनिफॉर्म स्पीड।
यूनिफॉर्म स्पीड और नॉन यूनिफॉर्म स्पीड। और अगर वो डिस्प्लेसमेंट टाइम होता तो क्या बोलते हैं आप?
डिस्प्लेसमेंट टाइम।
अगर इट वुड हैव बीन अ डिस्प्लेसमेंट टाइम ग्राफ तो क्या बोलते? सरगुन क्या बोलते?
Placement.
अगर डिस्प्लेसमेंट टाइम ग्राफ होता, सपोज आई वुड हैव ड्रॉन दिस इंस्टेड ऑफ, यहाँ स्पीड नहीं हो करके, सपोज दिस वुड हैव बीन डिस्प्लेसमेंट, तो फिर क्या होता आंसर हमारा फॉर द फर्स्ट ग्राफ? स्पीड की जगह डिस्प्लेसमेंट बना दिया मैंने उस वर्ड को। अच्छा, ये बताओ डिस्टेंस टाइम ग्राफ या डिस्प्लेसमेंट टाइम ग्राफ में ग्रेडियंट क्या मिलता है? सरगुन?
Thinking.
हाँ,
I'm thinking.
okay. Gauri, would you like to answer?
So if a distance time graph shows the gradient as the speed, then a displacement time should have a velocity.
Because displacement is a vector quantity.
Right.
तो उसमें जो gradient निकलेगा ये होगा velocity, ठीक है। तो अब आप कैसे आंसर करोगे? Velocity. So your answer will be, because you see a line, you will write line देख के आपने क्या लिख दिया वर्ड? यूनिफॉर्म। और ग्रेडियंट आपने यहाँ लिख दिया यूनिफॉर्म वेलोसिटी, ठीक है। अब यूनिफॉर्म की जगह कई बार कांस्टेंट भी लिखा रहता है। इज इट द सेम थिंग? कांस्टेंट वेलोसिटी, इजंट इट द सेम थिंग? इट्स कांस्टेंट नहीं, गौरी इज नॉट कन्विंस्ड विद दैट। कांस्टेंट क्यों हुआ? गौरी इज नॉट कन्विंस्ड।
I mean, I guess they mean the same thing.
They mean the same thing. क्यों? बिकॉज कहने का मतलब, सपोज ये डिस्टेंस टाइम ग्राफ है, मैं इधर कहीं पर भी इसका इधर निकालू, यहाँ निकालू, यहाँ निकालू, यहाँ निकालू, यहाँ निकालू, यहाँ निकालू, कहीं पर भी वेलोसिटी निकालू, वेलोसिटी इज द सेम, इट्स कांस्टेंट, ठीक है। इज द सेम एवरीवेयर, मतलब ना तो इंक्रीज ना डिक्रीज, ऑलराइट। Got the point? That's why it is a constant word. The word constant.
So constant is basically synonymous to uniform in this.
To uniform. Sometimes the question will write. आप हमेशा uniform non-uniform use करना. लेकिन if the question says constant, do not get hassled कि क्या ये क्यों uniform क्यों नहीं लिखा, constant क्यों लिख दिया.
But we should use uniform.
You should use uniform. ठीक है. But अगर आपने constant word भी use किया तो there's nothing wrong in that. Alright? आगे बढ़े. Okay, Sargun, read this.
On a day with no wind, a large object is dropped from a tall building. The object experiences air resistance during its fall to the ground. State and explain in terms of forces acting how the acceleration of the object varies during its fall.
On a day with no wind, a large object is dropped from a tall building. Object is experiencing air resistance during its fall to the ground. Free fall पढ़ा है स्कूल में?
Right, yeah.
Fall के बारे में पढ़ा
We've
होगा?
learned about free fall.
Free fall पढ़ा होगा? Okay. State and explain in terms. You understand what is free fall?
Yeah.
So when you understand, free fall क्या होता है?
Explain it again.
हाँ, free fall में क्या होता है? कभी लिफ्ट में गए हम? लिफ्ट में गए? सडनली लिफ्ट अगर नीचे आती काफी हाई स्पीड से तो कैसा फील होता है? अचानक से लगता है ना बहुत काफी हाई स्पीड से नीचे आ रही है, तो यू फील एज इफ हम गिर रहे हैं, दैट फीलिंग दैट कम्स, राइट? और the feeling of weightlessness, जब आपको बिल्कुल फील नहीं हो रहा कि आपका खुद का कोई वेट है, बस आप गिरे जा रहे हो, राइट? At that time, whenever, even the skydivers, whenever they fall down, so वो बिल्कुल अर्थ उनको पुल करता है और अपने आप वो गिरते जाते हैं, राइट, नीचे। We feel the free fall even while we are in a flight. Suddenly जब वो फ्लाइट लैंड करने वाले होते तो कैसा लगता है, एक वियर्ड सी फीलिंग आती है, राइट? So that experience that you get, that is free fall. Okay, that experience is a experience of being in no weight status. मतलब वो no weight और weightlessness क्यों होता है? That is because एक तरफ आपकी बॉडी वेट है और एक तरफ ग्रेविटी आपको पुल कर रही है, राइट? सो ये दो वेट्स, आप these two things are working as it is, right? इसके साथ there is an air resistance. Okay, what is that air resistance doing to you? जब भी कोई कभी स्काई डाइविंग किया है या देखा है किसी को करते हुए, एवर देखा है? क्या होता है स्काई डाइविंग में?
Like you jump out of a plane and then
jump out of the plane. Okay, so when you jump out of the plane, what happens? They spread themselves in a star shape, right? क्यों करते हैं वैसा? You do that also while you're swimming. You spread yourself in a certain way so that क्यों करते हैं? So that नीचे का फोर्स और आपके वेट दोनों बराबर हो जाए, ठीक है? पानी में आप इसलिए करते हो ताकि आप फ्लोट कर सको. जब हम पहली बार स्विमिंग करना सीखते हैं, first thing that you're being taught is make yourself in a star shape so that first you learn how to float. वरना क्या होगा, आप पानी में जैसे जाओगे पानी के अंदर जाने लगे, you'll start drowning. So first thing that you're learning is how to float. So spread your body in such a way that the body weight and the force being applied by the water both are equal, so that पानी ही आपको help कर रही है float करने में. But you have to learn that art. है ना? तो पहले 1-2 क्लासेस उसी में जाते हैं. In the same way, when somebody is skydiving, तो अब क्योंकि ग्रेविटी पे तो बहुत ज्यादा पुल कर रही है, राइट? सो इसलिए आप गिरोगे तो हो ही नीचे, लेकिन एयर रेजिस्टेंस और बॉडी वेट जो है वो आपस में एक दूसरे को वो कर लेते हैं, मतलब they kind of
equalize forces in balance, like cancelling each other out.
But there is a very heavy force which is pulling you, तो आप नीचे तो गिरोगे ही, there is no other option. But क्या होगा, आप नीचे गिरोगे but you're falling down at a constant velocity. That constant velocity is called as the terminal velocity.
Yeah, we've learned about terminal velocity.
अभी याद आ गया?
Yeah.
What is terminal velocity? Right? Okay, so whenever skydivers fall down, they always fall with that terminal velocity, क्योंकि वो अपने बॉडी को इस तरीके से करें ताकि अगर बहुत तेज गिरेंगे तो फिर they will get hurt ना, वो सीधे स्विंग करके नीचे गिरने लगे तो they spread in such a way कि अब उनको थोड़ा टाइम मिलता है, टर्मिनल वेलोसिटी पे आते हैं, फिर वो टर्मिनल वेलोसिटी से नीचे गिरेंगे तो है, बिकॉज अर्थ का जो पुल है दैट इज मच स्ट्रॉन्गर. आप उसको तो नहीं उल्टा कर सकते, आई मीन यू कैन नॉट नलिफाई दैट फोर्स. लेकिन आपने किस फोर्स को इक्वलाइज कर दिया? एयर रेजिस्टेंस को और अपने बॉडी वेट को. उसकी वजह से क्या हुआ, आप टर्मिनल वेलोसिटी से नीचे गिरते हो, फिर आपको टाइम मिल जाता है, देन यू ओपन द पैराशूट एंड देन यू गो इजी. फिर आप उसको और थोड़ा स्लो डाउन करते हो, उस वेलोसिटी को कम करते हो बाय यूजिंग अ पैराशूट. क्लियर हो गया? सो कमिंग बैक टू द क्वेश्चन, state and explain in terms of forces acting how the acceleration of the object varies during its fall.
Right.
ये तो हुआ how the acceleration is acting now. ये तो हुआ velocity, terminal velocity. तो अब मुझे बताओ क्या इसमें आती है चीजें when you're falling down. So it's not asking you about the velocity, it's asking you about the acceleration. ठीक है? Now thinking.
So first of all, as you fall, you're accelerating, you're kind of gaining speed, gaining velocity, and then the air resistance starts to act more and more on you until you kind of your weight as well as the air resistance acting on you, they cancel each other out, which is like the forces acting.
Okay.
And you're not accelerating anymore because you're moving at a constant velocity.
Perfect. तो हमको इस क्वेश्चन को 2 पार्ट्स में आंसर करना है, ठीक है?
Yeah.
एक पार्ट होगा जब आप एकदम से आप एक स्काई डाइवर एक एरोप्लेन से बस कूद रहे हैं immediately right after that and till the point the person reaches the terminal velocity. समझ गए? ये 2 पार्ट्स में आप आंसर करोगे, ठीक है? सो पहला पार्ट में क्या होगा, जैसे ही वो कूदा, वो प्लेन से कूदा जैसे ही, राइट, मेरा प्लेन जो है फिश की जैसा दिख रहा है, बट वो प्लेन से नीचे गिरा, तो क्या होगा, उसकी स्पीड, उसका एक्सेलरेशन मैक्सिमम होगा और स्पीड भी जो होगी वो मैक्सिमम होगी। एक्सेलरेशन बहुत हाई होगा उस टाइम पे, ठीक है, एट दैट राइट आफ्टर फॉल, ठीक है। लेकिन as you're coming down, you come and you reach वो ऐसे पोजीशन में आ चुका होता है, और इस पोजीशन में एयर रेजिस्टेंस और बॉडी वेट, एयर रेजिस्टेंस एंड बॉडी वेट, दे बैलेंस ईच अदर, बट स्टिल द पर्सन इज फॉलिंग डाउन, क्योंकि सिर्फ एयर रेजिस्टेंस वेट को बैलेंस कर रहा है, ग्रेविटी तो अभी भी पुल करे, तो गिरना तो है ही उसको नीचे,
राइट, बट द फोर्सेस आर स्टिल इन बैलेंस।
हाँ, सो बिकॉज ऑफ दिस बैलेंसिंग it reaches terminal velocity, which means एक certain velocity reach हो गई, अब वो accelerate नहीं कर रहा, ये terminal velocity reach कर गया, terminal velocity reach कर गया, which means it is a constant velocity। and जब हम constant velocity होते हैं तो उस टाइम हम क्या बोलते हैं, acceleration क्या होता है, जब आप constant velocity, acceleration इस टाइम पे क्या हो जाता है, zero, because
Zero.
it's not in decrease, velocity terminal पे reach कर गई है और अब वो नहीं बढ़ रही है।
So acceleration is basically the change in velocity. So if the velocity is not changing, the acceleration is zero.
Absolutely. तो हम क्या बोलेंगे अब इसको? How do I? So you understand why we have to answer it in two parts? One, right after the fall. Second, reaching the terminal velocity. दोनों point पे आपको बताना पड़ेगा. Yes.
But I could check with someone at the door.
हाँ. Okay. So just frame your answers, Gauri. In the meantime, just write your answer.
Right.
Okay, so this worksheet, so when I'm not making you write word to word, but pointers दे दिया मैंने आपको कि इसमें जब आप ये आंसर फ्रेम करोगे, so these four things have to be mentioned, and four things means 4 marks. First thing, mention air resistance and body weight. ये दोनों मेंशन करना है, और ग्रेविटेशनल पुल, तीनों चीजों के बारे में बात करना है.
Right.
सेकंड पॉइंट आपको मिल जाएगा जब आप ये बताना स्टार्ट करोगे कि स्टार्ट ऑफ द फॉल में क्या होता है, जी की वैल्यू मैक्सिमम होती है एंड इट इज मैक्सिमम 10 मीटर्स पर सेकंड स्क्वायर, ठीक है. थर्ड पॉइंट आपको तब मिल जाएगा व्हेन यू से व्हाट हैपेंस ड्यूरिंग द फॉल, तो जी जैसे कैसे कैसे रिड्यूस होता है, एंड फाइनली जी मतलब एक्सेलरेशन ड्यू टू ग्रेविटी that becomes 0 when you reach terminal velocity, which means that you are at a constant speed, which is the maximum speed. उसके बाद speed अब नहीं बढ़ेगा. At that speed, air resistance is balancing your body weight. Clear? So 4 marks, 4 points. Exactly, this is how you have to answer. Clear?
Clear.
Okay.
Can I just have a second to take a screenshot of the thing?
Yes,
I'll
yes,
just copy it down later. Thank you.
Welcome. Okay, next question. अच्छा, these worksheets that you're doing, ये मैं जो क्लास में कर रही हूँ वो, और plus whatever homework I will give you, that you have to keep submitting. तो make sure that ये जो worksheet हम कर रहे हैं अभी और जो मैं आपको homework दूंगी, ये दोनों चीजें submit होंगी after you have cleared your doubts in the next class. ठीक है? So I am doing one worksheet right now and one worksheet will be for homework. And then I will ask you, because these topics you've done in school, मैं आपको बता दूंगी नेक्स्ट क्लास में आपको कौन सा वाला पार्ट पढ़ के आना है, सो दैट वी कैन स्ट्रेट अवे स्टार्ट डूइंग द क्वेश्चंस. और बीच में मैं आई विल कीप एक्सप्लेनिंग द पार्ट्स. ठीक है? ऑलराइट. सो नेक्स्ट क्वेश्चन नंबर 4. Gauri, read it.
At a sports event, a champion runner and a car take part in a race. The runner runs at a constant speed of 10 meters per second from the start of the race. During the first 5 seconds of the race, the car's speed increases from 0 meters per second to 25 meters per second at a uniform rate. Okay, so we need to basically take the information given to us and draw graphs both for the runner and for the car.
And for the car, दोनों के लिए.
Yeah, and for the car. And
ऐसा क्वेश्चन अगर आता है और दोनों के लिए बनाना है, तो my suggestion would be that you take one color. जैसे रनर के लिए हमने रेड कलर ले लिया, तो इसके लिए हम लोग ब्लू कलर ले लेंगे. सो 2 डिफरेंट कलर्स में आप अपना डायग्राम बनाओगे, सो दैट यू आर क्लियर आपको आप किसके लिए कौन सा कलर ले रहे हो. ठीक है? वरना कंफ्यूजन होगी. एक कलर में नहीं बनाना. ओके? नाउ इट सेज runner runs at a constant speed of 10 meters per second from the start of the race. वो start ही 10 meters से कर रहा है. So how do I do it? During the first 5 seconds of the race, the car's speed increases from 0 to 25 at a uniform rate. 0 to 25 पहले कार बना लेते हैं. कार को हम ब्लू कलर में बनाएंगे. So Sargun, what do you think? How do we make it? During the first 5 seconds. तो मेरा स्टार्टिंग पॉइंट क्या होना चाहिए सरगुन? 0 होना चाहिए. ओके. एंड एंड पॉइंट क्या होना चाहिए? 5. एंड और क्या कहां तक जाना चाहिए? 5 होना चाहिए एंड पॉइंट. तो अब और कहां तक जाना चाहिए? व्हाट शुड बी द स्पीड?
It should start from 0 till 25.
हाँ. So where is 25?
Oh.
This point?
Yeah.
This point, right? So मैं इधर मार्क करूंगी because I'll have to mark it here. 5 at the time 5 seconds में mention करना, मुझे show करना है वो at this point, right? So how will I make my graph? It will start from here and be like this. Am I right in doing this? Right? This is for my car. Okay. A graph to show the motion of runner. So the runner runs at a constant speed of 10 meters per second. गौरी कैसे करूँ मैं इसको? रनर का कैसे शो करूँ?
A constant speed, so just a horizontal line. It should be
जो
10 meters per second.
So what do I do?
10 meters per second at the start as well as after 5 seconds. So just one straight line.
Just a straight line at, so which means, is the runner running? Sargun, is the runner running or not? रन कर रहा है वो या नहीं कर रहा? सच सोच के बताओ, रन कर रहा है या नहीं कर रहा वो? Is the runner running or not? Confusion है?
Yeah, I mean, yeah, I'm a little
It is running.
confused.
Yes, it is running because it's a
10
speed.
meters per second.
10 meters per second से वो स्पीड नहीं बढ़ा रहा या अपनी स्पीड नहीं कम कर रहा, लेकिन रन कर रहा है, राइट? लेकिन अगर डिस्टेंस टाइम ग्राफ होता तो क्या हो जाता?
So that would mean he was just standing there
Just standing. He would at rest, doing nothing.
at rest.
At rest, no speed.
Yeah. No speed.
Okay. Distance traveled by the runner in 5 seconds. क्या करना होगा?
Area under the graph,
Area.
like the shape of.
What shape would it be?
So this is for the runner.
This is for the runner. Everything here,
Mhm.
area shaded here, right?
Right.
Right. So what will be the length?
This is 5 and 10. 5 and 10.
5. Sorry, this is
10
10.
and 5. 10 and 5.
10 and this is 5. Perfect. Very good. और अगर मुझे तो ये हो जाएगा 10 into 5, which is how much?
50.
50. Unit क्या होना चाहिए?
It's meters per second. So 50 meters.
Distance traveled by the car?
So the car's thing looks like a triangle.
The car is like a triangle. So we have to find which area?
Area of a triangle.
Area of a triangle.
Breadth into height.
What is the formula for area of a triangle? Half
Into
Half
breadth
of
into
the
width.
length into the breadth.
half base into height, right?
Base into
How
height.
much will be the base for the triangle?
5,
5 and height
25.
25. So half 5 into 25. आंसर क्या होगा इसका?
62.5. Yeah.
62.5. But ये हो गया 3 figures. I need 2 figures.
Right. So 63
63 meters.
meters.
63 meters to SF में मेरा आंसर आ गया. ठीक है? The time at which car overtakes the runner. What is that time?
2 seconds.
Around yeah, it is 2
Around
seconds.
2 seconds, the car overtakes the perfect. Very good. ठीक है? Okay. Chalo, next question. Sir, would read it.
Figure 1. Okay. Figure 1.1 shows a rocket-powered sled traveling along a straight track. The sled is used to test components before they are sent into space. Figure 1.2 is the speed time graph for the sled from the time 0 seconds. And
10. आगे है. Mark a point labeled P to indicate the time when the acceleration of the sled is not constant.
Indicate a time when the acceleration is not constant.
Look at it
Can we
carefully.
say sometime around 2 seconds and 3 seconds?
Can I say this point? ये वाले point पे approximately?
Yeah.
That's उसके बाद से वो थोड़ा curve होना start हो गया. So this point, right?
Yeah.
Right, Gauri?
Yeah.
This point? Okay.
Yeah.
और कोई point तो नहीं लग रहा? अभी तक तो straight line ही लग रहा है ना उसके पहले. वहां से start हुआ वो.
Yeah, actually, if we check the gradient, so that can just help us. Yeah, it starts to change around there only.
There only, right?
Yeah, around there. Roughly there.
Then calculate the acceleration of the sled at 1 seconds. Acceleration at 1 second. क्या निकालना पड़ेगा इसके लिए? Acceleration निकालने के लिए क्या निकालना होगा?
Gradient.
Gradient. At 1 second पूछा है तो यहाँ तक का gradient, this point, यहाँ तक का gradient, right?
Yeah.
Okay, all right. Okay. Gauri, sorry, Sargun, read the next question. Determine the
distance traveled by the sled between 1 second and 2 seconds.
1 second and 2 seconds. तो कहाँ से कहाँ तक का distance निकालना है हमको?
1 to 2.
1 to 2. What shape will it become? 1 is here and 2 is here. ये कैसा shape दिख रहा है हमको?
It's like a trapezium. Just on the other way.
Yes. जिसमें A ये होगा, A and B are always the parallel side, और ये H होगा. This will be the H. Understood? So that's how you will calculate this. Okay. Resultant force acting on the sled remains constant during the test. Suggest why the acceleration of the sled is not constant. Okay. Resultant force acting on the sled during the test, it appears to be constant, but it is not constant. Q. Okay. So इसके लिए आपको क्या करना है? इसके लिए एक knowledge आपको जरूरी है. So क्या होता है? As the sled is moving with the help of fuel, right? जैसे जैसे fuel, जैसे जैसे ये आगे बढ़ेगा तो fuel जो है reduce होगा. Fuel का weight, right? Fuel has a mass. So जब fuel reduce होता है तो क्या reduce होता है? Mass reduce होता है. और अगर mass reduce होता है तो what do we know? Force is equal to mass into acceleration. तो क्या reduce होता है? Force reduce होता है, जो कि calculation में नहीं आया, but practically ये problem आती है. Understood? Got the answer?
Yeah.
This is how you will have to write it. Fuel है, fuel reduce होगा. I'm just giving you pointers. You will frame your own answer, but these are the points that have to be there. Understood? Now see, we are left with, I think, one more question. Okay. But one or two more questions. But isko as a, I think you must have understood what is primarily in this. So I'll just stop recording first.